Alrighty, traders. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Can you see me? Just checking. Okay. All right. Cool. Tony in the chat room. He was like, he sent. I post something in the chat room here. I guess I can show you. I post something in the chat room and said, hey, daily roundups in 1 minute. Hopefully those traders that are new to, ForexAnalytix from the Forex Flow Live family, they can log in, with that little link right there, right here, right? So Tony writes, howdy doody time. It's that time, folks. You know what's funny about that? Tony, you here? You want to hear something funny about that? When I was a kid, and if you don't know this, I'm half Chinese and I'm half Iowanian. My dad's 6'4", blonde hair, blue eyed, from Southern Iowa, right? Married an Asian woman during the Vietnam era. Anyway, it was like back in the, I want to say like maybe late 70s, and we were in Iowa, and we're going through some of my dad's old stuff at my grandma and grandpa's house before it burned down, actually. And he goes, hey Blake, I got something for you. He goes, I wanted to give you something. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm a little kid. He gives me this Howdy Doody doll. No joke. He gives me a Howdy Doody doll. I still have it. I'm not really 100% sure where it's at right now, but I do have it. Creepy as you could only imagine. I showed my wife, like, I don't know, 20 years ago when we first met. We were moving, I think, and I said, oh, look at this thing. She was like, ah! It is like literally the scariest thing you've ever seen. It's got the eyes, it's like the wooden one, the eyes, creepy stuff. Anyway, so it's funny you mentioned that. Howdy doody. All right, let's talk about the markets a little bit. And I just got to ask a question by, I was looking at, some of these cryptocurrencies, and I was just noticing how heavy Bitcoin is. It's trading below 30,000. Doesn't mean it's going to stay heavy. It's just trading heavy. But I got asked by Patty about the euro. He goes, hey, the euro is holding these lows. Does that mean that it's, it's ready to turn higher? And I said just a moment ago, I said, I'm actually asking the opposite question right now. It's not rallying with risk. So that's not good, because I mean, we've seen this bounce in the equities. S&P's bounced 1.5%. NASDAQ's up 1%. Dow's up 1.5%. We see this big bounce in risk. How about, like, here's the Dow. Excuse me really quick. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Let's say the Dow stops here at the 618, which we're at, right? And we start to head down again. Does the dollar catch a bid? That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. How about if the dollar catches a bid? I mean, the euro's trading near its lows. That could, have the euro break below the lows. Now, I don't necessarily think I want to short the euro because the ECB on Thursday. I don't really, I don't really want to do that. But that doesn't mean that it can't, happen. You know what I mean? Like if stocks start to come down, the dollar might catch a bid. A lot of people, is bidding up, trying to buy the euro, with this risk on, and we go risk off, and then the euro implodes. I don't know. I'm going to leave the euro alone for now. It's still in this wedge. I think the catalyst that's going to drive us out of this wedge is going to be the ECB, as I said, this weekend and earlier this week. I think that's going to be the reasoning. I did buy the euro yesterday. I played it below 118, sold it out above 118. Today you can see it's just getting tighter and tighter. So I'm going to avoid having, euro exposure. I actually shorted the Euro Aussie earlier, but I even want to leave that alone until we get past I shorted it. Or my average was 160.90. I closed it like 167.60 something, like kind of where we're at right now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just kind of leaving the euro alone. I think that until we get some better guidance from the ECB, that's probably the best course of action. So, you know, here let's kind of take count here. We've seen this bounce in equities, right? Here's the S&P bouncing. I think it caught a lot of people wrong-footed, as I said in the chat rooms. You know, a lot of people were expecting the market to continue lower. We broke above that 28.90, and you can see we've squeezed almost. We should probably extend to 43.40, right? This is our second resistance in the S&P. Once we broke 42.90, next resistance 43.40. We're at 43.31, maybe another 10 points before we start to lose some steam. Matter of fact, let's remove that really quick, and let's do this. I mean, we're basically at the 618 in the S&P. So yeah, somewhere right here, probably really good resistance in the S&P. So with that being said, what do you think? What do you think you should be paying attention to? Like, let's say stocks start to move lower from here. What happens? Well, that's when I start looking at this dollar Mexican peso. This thing is catching a bid, and you know, we start getting above this 2020 level, and it's going to squeeze a little bit. It's not backing away, and that I'm surprised with. Big rally and risk. The dollar Mexican peso is near its highs of the day. I did buy some just a little while ago because, again, if stocks start to pull back, what's going to happen here? The dollar Canadian came off a little bit, but you know, hold on, let me remove this. Let's remove this. This is kind of what I'm thinking with the dollar CAD, and I may be wrong, but we'll see. I think the dollar Canadian is going to be flagging. Why is that important to know? What is a flag pattern? It's a continuation, right? So that's the problem. If you are, you know, shorting the dollar Canadian, I don't know if that's the right trade. I think the right trade is being on the long side. It's just trying to find, you know, the place to be long. I think it's going to be somewhere in this neighborhood. Okay, is going to be the place to be long, but you know, we'll see. I want to be notified if we get towards 127. You know, think about being on the long side of the dollar CAD here. Cedric said, "Hey Blake, wanted to find out about the newsletter that was coming out on Sundays. Is it available, or now we only get the video of the week ahead?" No, we get there's a newsletter that goes out, and it's via email. If you don't get it, what I would be thinking is you have to check your junk email. Well, make sure you have, you know, in your ForexAnalytix account, make sure you go here to settings and see where your make sure that we have your correct email address. That's step number one. Step number two, check your junk email or other inbox. That's probably where it's at. We automatically send the email to our entire database. We don't exclude anybody. So client or no client, you know what I mean? Active user or no active user, you're going to get the weekly newsletter. It comes out on the weekends. Now, you might be asking or referencing, we're going to send out a survey for all the active traders, like you guys that are active, whether you're light version or, you know, premium version. We're going to ask you guys for some feedback on a few items, especially with the chat rooms and stuff like that, just to make sure we're trying to get all of your needs met. That's what I'm trying to say. Get your needs met. Yes. So just, you know, be on the lookout for that. That'll come separately. Also, Cedric, I will be sending you personally an email because you won the Euro 2020. So I'm going to send you a coffee mug. Have you seen these? These, I know mine's dirty, but These are like the best. Everybody that gets them, they're like, these are the best mouse pads in the world. They're super thick. They're not thin, super heavy. You can hit your kids with them. You can hit your dogs with them. You can hit, I'm joking. Anyway. All right, let's continue on. US dollar, Norwegian krona. This pair finished squeezing. You can see it looks like we're going to close below that confluence, which I think is a big deal. But that doesn't make this pair bearish. I just think it's going to be pulling back. And so you got to look at that pullback as being an opportunity. So again, this is one of those like the dollar Canadian. I'm not sure how far we're going to pull back. I'm hoping we get back towards like 885. But I don't know. It's holding up well. So is risk. That's another thing. Alex said you could also sell merchandise in the website. Also, I would say fancy one. You know, it is fancy. But we can't. I don't have an assistant. I don't plan on having an assistant. So guess who gets to send out all the merch? We ran a contest, and Cedric's from South Africa. We ran a contest like a few years ago, and like 9 out of the 10 winners were out of the US, and I spent like a few hours doing all the post office stuff. Holy cow. I didn't want to do that again. So yeah, getting random stuff and having to pull away. But you know, there's other things that I'm doing. Just to let you guys know, I did a video today on a trading tips video. I finally got, since I was on vacation, I finally got around to getting one done. So I did. So those will be more beneficial to you than sending out mouse pads, I think. Let me see anything else that I'm really looking at here. Oh, yields. This is a big deal. So here's your 4-hour chart on the 10-year. Remember, I was warning you guys about the 10-year. The daily sentiment index on the bond market was way overbought. I mean, way extreme. It was like 92, 91 or 92, whatever daily sentiment was. It's very extreme. So yields are now rallying. They're obviously rallying with risk, and bonds are coming off a little bit. So what has that done for the dollar yen? Well, let's put the dollar yen back around 110. You know, you can see the dollar yen rallied towards 110. We got as high as 109.95. So yeah, that happened. No, Cedric, I wasn't joking about that. You actually won the Euro 2020. I haven't sent you an email yet, so I'll send it out by the end of the week, just to get your email or just to get your address so I can send that out to you. But congratulations, man. You won. You beat me out to the semifinals. So, but yeah, you won. You beat Amanda. So cool. All right. Let's see. Any other questions really quick? Catherine. Hey, Catherine. She says, hey, Blake, do you think you could look at the euro sterling? Yes, I will. So I have not been trading the euro pound or the euro sterling. 78% retracement. This looks pretty key as far as resistance goes. I'm not necessarily, I don't know what I would do with it. I think if I was long here, I'd be like, okay, we rejected this 78% retracement. I would be very careful while we're below 86.80. If I was short, which I'm not, but if I was short, I wouldn't risk above 86.80. In other words, you know, if it breaks above that, I think that we are breaking out. If one of the things observations I made during the end of day analysis yesterday was that we came out of the channel, and I'm pretty sure I said it, or at least I'm thinking it, we made a higher low. So that's important. You know, I wouldn't be surprised, like in the next couple of weeks, if the euro sterling trades up like this. And hell, with the ECB, you know, this would be an ABC pattern. A, B, C, D, you know, C, D, no, it'd be equal legs. With the ECB on Thursday morning, is it Thursday morning? Holy cow. It's been one of those weeks, right? Sparboard. No, Thursday. Sorry. It's Thursday. So with the ECB meeting on Thursday, you know, I think you have to be a little careful. If I sound tired, I am. We've had a lot going on over the last couple of days, and my wife's not here. She had to take my son, one of my sons, to a camp, so out of state. So I'm here holding down the fort myself, and therefore, between that and everything at work, I am a little exhausted. And it's only Tuesday. Awesome. We should look at precious metals really quick. So gold and silver are a little heavy here. Silver is trying to probe that support. I think we wrote down 2480, right? This morning. 2480. Wow, how key is that? Boom, 2480 and bounced. Right? That you should actually put an asterisk next to that 2480 right there. Gold, just kind of range bound. Yeah, so anyway. All right, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Stocks remain bid. Let's see how they end the day. Steph asked, Blake, you got out of your Euro Aussie short, but stocks go higher. Will it continue to break down, right? I think so. But the Aussie's been acting like crap too. That's another currency that even in this risk rally, the Aussie is not like acting well. It's kind of like the inverse of the dollar Mexican peso. Like, why? I mean, I don't know why. My only guess is, well, first of all, Australia is, you know, going through lockdowns and everything else. But my only guess is the FX market doesn't believe the stock market bounce. That would be that's my initial thought. But remember, Australia is dealing with their own issues. All right, guys, have a good one. Have a great evening. See you later. Thank you all for your continued support. I appreciate you all. And especially those of you guys that are new, I appreciate you like hanging in there. And, you know, we got a lot of changes, and change is never easy. So we're just trying to work through all the issues individually, sometimes one-on-one, and appreciate you guys supporting. So we'll see you soon. Have a great evening.